All right, Shalom. Call on Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Hashem, Rakah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, salute to the hopefully elect. I was thinking in the spirit. I was watching, watching some brothers' videos, and I was thinking about actually the thought came to me yesterday, but I thought about it, and in the spirit, I was like, I'm gonna do a video on it because I was thinking somehow the topic of restaurants came up, and I was thinking, you know what? Now these days, that's all people do is go out and eat at restaurants, and whether it's fast food or. And I was thinking, like, this dating scene. Oh, it was another show I was watching, and they was talking about dating. And another thing I thought about it, I said, you know what, women don't cook anymore, you know. And another thing hit me, and you know what? That's another thing due to feminism, because now you got the career woman, you got women they working. So, because it used to be a thing where as though that used to be a woman was a part of your empire, She was the one that was cooking, helping maintaining the house. But now that the nobody's in a house cooking, the restaurants is making a killing, And so I thought about it. I said, you know what? All this is a play. All this started around the same time, the turn of the century, when was it Margaret Sanger, and all of them. They came. They it started around the same time, And I found this video on YouTube, and I'm gonna play it. I hope I don't get a copyright. Fair use. So, but it goes right along what I was talking about, So I'm gonna play it again, fair use. Hopefully that'll work. But I gotta play this video because it brings out the point on the topic. Because the reason why these restaurants are making a killing is because of feminism. Feminism made these elites, the wicked elite, gave them more power, because now the average man, he's relying on a restaurant if he's not cooking. But back then, it wasn't like that. We always had women to cook for us, And that's another result of feminism. So, hold on. All right, here's the video again. Again, this is fair use. I'm gonna play it, and it's just gonna go into the history a little bit. It's called, still watching Netflix. It's called "Where Did Fast Food Come From and Who Invented It?" History 101.
The fast food industry as we know it today really starts back in 1921, in Wichita, Kansas, with White Castle, a burger joint that pioneers a faster, cleaner system for cooking burgers. But the idea doesn't take off. Yet. Throughout the Great Depression and World War II, people still tend to eat their meals at home.
Wow. See, and I just said that, But guess what? Feminism came in, around the turn of the century, 1920s, 1930s, 40s. That's when it started, They were, women were working in the factories around the beginning of the turn of the century, and so on and so on. But they really pushed it on the so-called black woman, the Israelite woman, during the 50s and 60s. See?
Because my mom cooked 1,095 meals a year. That's a lot of meals.
Well, that's just what she does.
But after the war, the way we eat starts to change. With more disposable income, people start looking at dining out as a form of entertainment, especially if it's tasty and served up quick. In 1948, brothers Dick and Mac McDonald used their speedy service system to offer tasty burgers for just 15 cents, about the equivalent of $1.60 today. Their restaurant is a hit, and over the next decade, new fast food chains start blooming across the country. In-N-Out Burger also gets its start in 1948, with California's first drive-thru burger stand in a space barely 10 feet square. Colonel Harland Sanders opens Kentucky Fried Chicken in 1952 in Salt Lake City, Utah. Burger King launches in 1954 in Florida. The Whopper arrives 3 years later. Dan and Frank Carney start the first Pizza Hut in Wichita in 1958 after borrowing $600 from their mother. One reason for their success: in 1950s America, car culture reigns supreme. Drive-in movies and drive-in restaurants become all the rage, taking convenience to another level. You don't even have to get out of your car.
I was glad I didn't have to get out. I'd forgotten which knob opened the door. The waitress was pretty automatic, too. A salad and a glass of milk, please.
And that's when fast food really starts to take off. In 1976, Wendy's, which only launched 7 years earlier, opens its 500th restaurant. By 1978, around 60,000 fast food outlets are scattered across the U.S. And the battle for hungry mouths heats up.
When you drive to Wendy's and order a single, you get more beef than the Whopper or the Big Mac.
The huge increase in stores starts having an impact on the way food is produced. Chains centralized their processing centers, so every patty and nugget going out to franchises is the same. It's not just good for cutting costs. That consistency turns out to be one of the biggest appeals of fast food. In any given restaurant, you always know what you're going to get. Meanwhile, as the U.S. market becomes saturated with fast food chains, the older ones start looking beyond America's borders for new mouths to feed. And by the 90s, fast food has really gone global. Chains start appearing in the most unlikely places. After the Soviet Union declares its new policy of perestroika, allowing foreign businesses to operate on Soviet soil, the ultimate symbol of American capitalism opens its first outlet in Moscow.
25,000 people applied to work in the Moscow McDonald's. Outside, inevitably, a queue. Some have been waiting for 2.5 hours, and because this is Moscow, not everyone knows why. This woman joined the line knowing something must be on sale here. She thought it was ice cream.
But in Soviet Russia, McDonald's has a problem.
And just looking at that clip right there, that shows you how dumb Americans are. You know, it's like followers. You know, they set these restaurants up for the cattle. You know, that's how the elites look at us as cattle. You know, they don't eat at these places. They wouldn't dare eat it. Not saying that some the top elites, because they know what's in it. You know, and not say that I tried my best not to every time I get a chance, but sometimes, hey, we got to do what we got to do. We in this Let me get the scripture. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13. It says, "And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." And what's that? That's these fast food restaurants. That's these supermarkets. Anywhere you go in this place, you eating GMO. You know, we don't have farms. And even if we had our own farm, look at the chemicals they spraying, you know? Look at the chemicals they spraying. Look at the fertile they use, you know? And they feeding all type of animals that corn. So, you know that this system is all messed up. And we've been scattered all over the world. And where's these fast food restaurants? Scattered all over the world. Due to feminism play a big role in these people eating out. Because who's cooking? There's more men that cook more than women now these days. You know? Every time you go to a 5-star restaurant, it's a man, most likely, that's the head chef. So men are that proves that, you know, not to say that women can't cook. Because I know some grannies that can get down. But it's a lot of men that cook very well. You know, famous chefs and all that. Let's get another scripture. 2 Timothy 3 and 2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. And yeah, that pretty much sums up Babylon, really. Because that's all people want to do is go out here and party, 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 arty. Arty, party, arty. You know? What's the two main party cities now these days? It used to be New York in the 80s and back then, you know, early 70s, all that. But now it's San Francisco, what is it, Atlanta that took over the hip hop scene. Now that's, you know, it's a lot of defiled people down there. That's the Sodom and Gomorrah and the reincarnation. San Francisco and Atlanta. Yeah, so I'm gonna just play a little bit last of this video.
Some people applied to work in the Moscow McDonald's. Outside, inevitably, a queue. Some have been waiting for 2.5 hours. And because this is Moscow, not everyone knows why. This woman joined the line, knowing something must be on sale here.
Oh, that's Moscow. So that's in, I believe, Russia. So you got a lot of cattle out there. You know, the elites know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They look at the lower class people as cattle. At first I said America, which I thought that was in America, but he said Moscow. You know, so that's over there on the other side, on the other side of the pond, which they would call it. But
He thought it was ice cream.
But in Soviet Russia, McDonald's has a problem, finding a high-quality, reliable supply of food products. So they operate their own processing plant and work with local businesses to shorten supply chains. All over the world, the arrival of McDonald's has a huge impact on local businesses, igniting a massive demand for large-scale food production.
so that pretty much sums up that video. You know, it's called "Where Did Fast Food Come From?" And it was just a thought that came to me, like, why women, especially these modern day women that been born, around my age, or that been born in the 80s up to even, I'm gonna say even in the 70s. A lot of women have been born in the 70s and the 80s, the 90s, even the 2000s, early 2000s. They don't cook. They don't, and their push, society pushed them to be career driven women. So they're not keepers of the house. And the elites did that. So the restaurant industry is booming. You just heard at the beginning of the video, let's go back. She said, and she was right about
The
that.
fast food industry as we know it today really starts back in 1921 in Wichita, Kansas, with White Castle, a burger joint that pioneers a faster, cleaner system for cooking burgers. But the idea doesn't take off. Yet. Throughout the Great Depression and World War II, people still tend to eat their meals at home.
See? And before that, people were eating their meals at home. I'm sure they had like little side or markets or something that you could pick up a bite to eat or whatever, but it wasn't like now. The modern day person eat out 3 times a day. Like, you got certain people that's all they do is eat out. Go to restaurants throughout their whole life. That's a part of their bill. But I just wanted to bring that out. I was thinking about how feminism play a big role in the fast food industry. All of us connected. All of us are play on our intelligence. But I still got one more scripture. This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. It says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book. That means, the book, people ain't have any understanding of the book yet. The Bible. It says, even to the time of the end, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. And that's the word, starting with, Abba Bivens, which Elijah came back and hit us with that knowledge. And now we know we are Israelites. And even people out in the world that don't, subscribe to the truth, even their knowledge are increasing. A lot of them know about the elites and all that. So knowledge increase. One more. It says, for this cause, God gave them up into vile affection, for even their woman dare change the natural use into which that is against nature. So a woman working for other men. If you got a woman, she's supposed to be working for your empire, but we in captivity, so she got to work for Massa. She got to work for Esau. It says, and likewise also the men leaving the natural use of women. Right. You got a lot of bumblebees running around here. It says, burn in their lust one towards another. Men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving themselves that recompense of their error, which was met. So, this place is all messed up. It's upside down, and it will be destroyed. So I hope this was edifying to the body. Till again, shalom.